What is going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome back to my F1 2015 career mode with Romain Grosjean for Season 3. We're back with part number 3 today for the Chinese Grand Prix, and I am very much looking forward to this. Obviously, we just had the Belgian Grand Prix in real life, and we saw Romain Grosjean doing absolutely amazing, getting a podium there. Can we try and do the same here in China? I don't know. China's probably one of my worst circuits, as you guys clearly know. I've said it many, many times, so we'll see how we do, but, you know, anything's got to be better than last time out with our performance. If you have missed it, well, just go watch it and you'll know what I mean. Things were said, you know, insults were thrown around at the car and whatnot, and my wheel. It wasn't pretty. We'll have to try and do better and push past the issues we had last episode. I still do, talking about those issues, I still do have a little bit of an issue with my wheel. It doesn't feel the same after the patch, basically. And the patch did, I read the patch notes, it did change the wheels a little bit. They changed some of the dead zones, and it just doesn't feel the same now. It felt amazing and perfect before the patch, and now there's just something a little bit off. But we're going to push through it, and I feel like we have a little bit of a pace here at China, surprisingly, actually. The car is actually a little bit more suited to China, it looks like, especially with the long back straight. The Mercedes engine we have in the back of this Lotus is helping us out. Here in Q1, you can see in the background, just seeing our lap time, and as you would expect, no issues getting out of Q1 for the Lotus car, so we're into Q2. So is our teammate Pastor Maldonado, thankfully, because you know, he hasn't really been pulling the weight so far this season. I don't think he will the entire season, but it's nice to see he's actually coming through in qualifying, because if you remember last season, Alonso really wasn't doing the job for us. He was just coming in 18th every time. So we've got ahead to Q2 now. We're fast forwarding a little bit because I was a bit unsure. As you could see, the rain was coming down in Q1, and then in Q2 I assumed it would be raining, and the team actually set me on intermediate tyres, but actually it was dry enough that AI were going out on dry tyres. So I thought, you know what, I should go with the AI are doing and not what my engineers are saying, because the intermediates would have been the wrong call, because we've come out on the option tyres. You can see I've got pretty damn good grip. I mean, you can see a few spots of rain here and there on the left-hand side of the camera, and you can see obviously the drizzle is coming down the chassis of the car, but it's feeling all pretty nice. We were coming through on the racing line, no harm done. A little bit of snap of oversteer right there, but you know, it's pretty good for what it is. It's a little bit damp. It's getting a little bit damp, so we may have a wet Q3, but for now it's feeling good. So around the option tyre, so it's much like Brazil 2012, where you think it's maybe a bit too wet for the options or the dry tyres, but it's actually fine. So we're coming through in the second sector now. Lotus not feeling too bad. I do have to drop it down maybe one more gear than I would like in those sectors, because just the Lotus doesn't have enough downforce there. But through the back straight again, helping us out, pulling us along, and we have made it into Q3 solid. And this time I have not made the mistake that we'd made last time. I've qualified on the options in Q2, which means we'll start on the options for Q3. So I learned from that. You know, I tried something. I thought maybe if we get the prime tyres out the way on this Lotus at the start, it would help, but it clearly didn't in Malaysia, because it just shot us in the ass. So we've come back here and we've learned. So we're into Q3 now. You can actually see it's got sunnier, so the rain actually disappeared. So the rain never actually fully came. You know, my engineer Jeff was banging on, oh, the rain's going to come in like 5 minutes time, but it never did. It never did. The rain just kind of came for a little bit, drizzled a little bit, and then went away. So it's completely dry now, nice and sunny, perfect conditions for our hot lap here in Q3. So we're coming through to that hot lap. We're going to go on and see what we can do today. Now, obviously, Malaysia, we had an okay qualifying. It was a pretty decent one. Australia, we had an amazing one, but we then went backwards. So what can we do today? We've taken the first turn, okay, went a little bit wide there, through the second turn, going full lock through that corner, then have to kind of wait patiently on the throttle to put down the power. Not too bad, no little oversteer moments that I was getting in Q2 due to no dampness. But now we're coming through to the end of the lap. We get P1 at the moment though, because I need to fast forward in the session and see what that ends up. So that felt like a pretty damn decent lap, so I thought there's no point to kind of continue on, and then I fast forwarded it all the way to the end. We saw Grosjean celebrating here at the end, so I wasn't sure, like Australia, where I actually was, but I was pretty confident it might be pole position, and in the end it did end up being pole position. So that is absolutely amazing. Pole position here at the Chinese Grand Prix. You can see the AI going a little bit slowly, actually. And if we look at some of their lap times, just confirmation there as well, that is legendary AI as well, if anyone's doubting. But if you look at the lap times here of some of the drivers, obviously I did 2 laps. Rosberg did a second lap and actually went slower. And some of the guys only did 1 lap, but some of them did 2 and went slower on their second flying lap. So I'm only guessing that maybe the track conditions changed. Maybe it got a little bit colder. And I went out, it was a good time for me to go out straight at the beginning of the session and pump in that good lap time, because no one went faster than their first lap. So that was a little bit unfortunate for everyone else, but great for me. So we're on pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix. That should be good. Hopefully we don't go backwards like Australia too much, but let's see what we can do. Let's go to the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix. So for the second time this season, we've pulled out a surprise pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix. Can we convert that into something? Let's see today. Pastor Maldonado, our teammates, qualified in 9th place. Surprisingly, the likes of Sebastian Vettel down in 7th and Hamilton down in 5th. So poor qualifying for them. Nico Rosberg lines next to me in 2nd place there. And there we are, Romain Grosjean pole position. But now we are on the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix. Australia, we had the same sort of scenario and we just went completely backwards. And we, obviously that 3-stop, that didn't help us. This time out, I'm not going to do an extra stop compared to there. I'm going to stick to what's the normal strategy, a 2-stop here. So let's see what we can do at the Chinese Grand Prix. We got to 4, now 5, red lights for the Chinese Grand Prix, and we are off straight away. Nico Rosberg on the right-hand side gets a really amazing shot at turn 1, goes through into 1st place. We're down to 3rd already as the Williams on the right-hand side of me, the inside Bottas there, is trying to make a move on me, and he has at the moment. We're down to 3rd. We're trying to stick around the outside, but we go really wide there, and we actually leave him too much room maybe. I should have gone tighter maybe to try and squeeze him, but we're down to 3rd place now, unfortunately. Hamilton right behind us, crucially, with Massa right next to him. You can see in the mirrors, they're fighting, they're going side by side, but that was a really poor start to the Chinese Grand Prix from us. Obviously, we're always going to lose maybe 1 position off the start, because on this game, no one can really get a great start without traction control if you're on a wheel, but we went around the outside of Bottas, tried to hang around, but I just left him too much room. You can see right there through the panning shots, I left him so much room there, left the door open, and he just took it with open arms. So I really should have maybe been a bit more aggressive and squeezed him a little bit, because he was in the middle of the racing track. I was right on the outside, so I had the room to try and squeeze him a little bit. So really wasn't too amazing of a start there through turn 2. You can see the 2 cars there, Hamilton and Massa, fighting behind me, and then as we come to the end of lap 1, we're closing up on Bottas a little bit in that second sector. You can see the engine's overheating though, so that's going to be something we have to try and manage. Like we did with the Mclaren last year, it seems like through this final corner onto the back straight, you have to put it in lean mix maybe to try and manage the engine temperature. But now onto the back straight, you can see Hamilton is trying to overtake me, but happily, to my surprise, I'm actually keeping up with him, obviously, with the Mercedes engine we got in this Lotus for the first time since season 1 practically. Even in season 1 we had some issues keeping with the Mercedes, so even for the first time in the career mode, we've been able to kind of stay ahead on the Mercedes on pure speed without DRS. It just feels awesome. But onto the end of lap 2 now, you can see Hamilton had a little lunge there down the inside, little look, but he didn't really go through with it. So we're staying in 3rd place through the final corner to the back straight. We can see their little twitch of oversteer means I have to go opposite lock in the middle of the corner, which means we run wide. Hamilton gets back at us down the inside there, so he's done us for 3rd place, but we're coming back at him now from 4th, and look at the speed we have. The Lotus, with the setup I've got going on, and also that Mercedes engine in the back of it, is really working a treat there, and we get right past Hamilton. So without DRS, when we both don't have DRS, and with my setup, it looks like I'm actually able to keep up and even overtake maybe with a little bit of slipstream on Hamilton. So that's absolutely awesome to see. We've got Raikkonen behind us now fighting Hamilton. It looks like he'll just get ahead of him. So onto the middle part of lap 3, you can see Raikkonen right behind us now, right up our gearbox. The tyres are already starting to struggle, so let's see what we can do. We go a little bit wide into the entry of this corner. You can see Raikkonen goes right down the inside of us, and he's completely past us, and we go so much more wide there. You can see the tyres are really starting to heat up as well. They're going red hot through that corner as the tyre surface starts to scrub across the racing line. Just really went wide through both those corners. Once you go wide in the first part, it's so difficult to kind of keep it tight on the second one, because you just feel like you're losing too much speed, but in theory you're not losing that much time. But it was so difficult to keep up with Raikkonen. You can see through this final corner onto the back straight, you can see Raikkonen has got away so much. So the Ferrari really working well here in China. And now we've got more things to worry about, because we've got Felipe Massa right behind us. He pulls out to the right. This will be with DRS, but we've got DRS off Raikkonen. So can we try and stick with Massa? We're sort of doing it. Can we do it in the braking zone? We're side by side with him still, and round the outside of this final hairpin corner at the end of the back straight, and we just managed to hang it round the outside of Massa there. Nice little clean re-overtake for 4th place, but I feel that 4th place might have to be a hard fought here at the Chinese Grand Prix, as we're on lap 3 and we're still fighting quite hard for only 4th. A little bit annoying that, we've got pole position, and yet again, like Australia, we're just going backwards. So now we've gotten to lap 8 now. We're coming to the pit stops now, so nothing really happened from lap 3 onwards in terms of what was going on behind us, because there was a bit of a scrap between Kafia and the Toro Rossos behind us, and I'm not too sure what happened, but they got ahead of the Mercedes and the Williams of, what was it, Massa, wasn't it? So So we're coming to the pit stops now for what were the option tyres, and like I said at the beginning of the race, we're not going to do what we did in Australia. We're not going to do an extra stop because it just didn't work. You know, we're going to have to power through the tyre wear. So we've gone to the option tyres. We'll go till about lap 16 or lap 17, and then we'll go onto the prime tyres right at the end, and that will be our race. We're just going to go to the race. You know, we're going to power through. We're going to drive to a delta, try and save the tyres a little bit. You know, be a bit cautious on the throttle, maybe change up a little bit earlier. Just be a bit calm like it is in real life. You know, they have to manage quite a lot of things in the middle of the part of the race. We need to do that today to try and gain some solid points here. And cutting on to lap 17, quite a long way, and that's exactly what we've done. We're still on P4. We didn't really get troubled by anyone. You can see Massa is behind us now, but for pretty much a lot of the middle stint, Perez was actually in 5th place, and he was holding up the pack behind us, so that helped me out quite a lot and allowed me to just do my own race and take these tyres all the way to lap 17 indeed. So very awesome middle stint for me to take the tyres so long. That means we only need to go 10 laps on the prime tyres, which is going to be awesome, because the prime tyres, obviously, as we know on this Lotus car, aren't really amazing, so it's great that we can only go a minimum amount of laps on these prime tyres. So we come out in 5th place at the moment. Kvyat's just overtaken us, but I believe he's yet to stop, so we should be able to get on the back of him pretty damn quickly and overtake him, and we do so at the end of lap 18 onto this little hairpin corner, right-hander onto the back straight. We're going to lean mix at the moment. You can see I put it in lean mix. That's because the engine's getting hot on the right-hand side, you can see, so I had to do that constantly. Every single lap that you haven't seen, I was always putting it in lean mix through that last corner to try and save the engine temperature. But now onto the end of lap 18 down the back straight with DRS. Look at this. Just lovely. Just feels so great to finally overtake cars in a straight line like that. You know, from Season 2, we never had any sort of sensation like that with the McLaren. Awesome to see finally we can actually do that with the Lotus car this year. So we're on lap 18. We're up into P4 once more. Bottas is in 3rd place. I believe Rosberg is in 1st, and then Raikkonen is in 2nd place. So that is the podium position, and that really didn't change the entire race. And from now, lap 19 to lap 28, we just have to do our race. We've got Perez right behind us again. So Perez is going to hold up the cars behind him once more, and then on to lap 28. That's exactly what he's done. Massa has now got into 5th place. He got into 5th place around lap 25, but he just couldn't catch us, actually. We had pretty decent pace on these prime tyres, actually. I was surprised. And Nico Rosberg has won the Grand Prix, you can see. Massa's closed in. He's about 1.5, I think it was, behind us, but for up until like 25, I said, Perez was behind me holding him up, so that really helped again. Perez, the kind of saviour of our entire race. I do believe if Perez wasn't there, I probably would have been overtaken for 4th place. So we got a little bit lucky with Perez there, but also at the same time, our pace was quite genuine, especially in the middle stint. I was very surprised we took the option tyres that far to lap 17, but we're coming through the final corner now in 4th place for the Chinese Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we couldn't convert it to a podium from pole position, but that's still going to be a very solid points-paying position for the Lotus, for us with Romain Grosjean. We couldn't equal what Grosjean did at the Belgium Grand Prix today in the real life Grand Prix yesterday with that 3rd place at Belgium, but we've done still a really solid job, I feel, for 4th place, and that's going to get us a whole lot of points. Massa behind us, you can see, actually surprisingly got a penalty as well for something, so I'm wondering maybe when he fell behind the Toro Rosso for a few laps, that was why he maybe got a penalty or something like that. But we are here in 5th place in the Drivers' Championship now, so we've moved up a place. Daniel Ricciardo has moved down a place. Felipe Massa moves up. Nico Rosberg at the moment leading the championship from Lewis Hamilton. You can see Pastor Maldonado yet to score a point, so he's not doing amazingly. He's doing about as great as Alonso did last season. So it's always nice to see teammates backing me up. But if you guys did enjoy that video, smash that like button and comment below what you thought. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content and also some Forza Motorsport 6 and Need for Speed in the coming months when it comes out. But I hope you guys enjoyed that Chinese Grand Prix. Solid points paying position for 4th place. I'm really happy with that. So I guys hope you enjoyed that video again. Give it a like if you did. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I've been Aarava, and I'll see you guys next time.